Hello, my name is jlucas. I'm Director of Solutions Delivery for Brightstar Partners and Avnet Services Company. Today I want to take a few minutes to give you an overview of VenueEdge, our custom-built business analytics and data warehousing solution for the cultural attraction industry. Brightstar Partners has a lot of experience working with cultural attractions, and several years ago we learned that cultural attractions, museums, etc. all suffer from a common pain point when it comes to how they manage information and how they manage data. Most of these attractions, we have one system that manages our ticket sales operation, another system for membership sales, and third and fourth systems that manage our food and retail components. And what this enables or limits executives in these attractions from being able to do is to garner any kind of a true 360-degree view of their business. As a result of this, we become reliant in this industry on having to run manual reports from each of these different systems, and then relying on manual processes and Excel and people's time to try and stitch their business together to try and get some kind of an integrated business view and really start to harness the power of what's happening in the business, and more importantly, what behavior, what attendance habits, what revenue patterns we're seeing from our customers in this industry. So what VenueEdge does, and does quite well, is combine the disparate data from those different data sources into a common, easy-to-use portal dashboard interface like you see here. So in this environment, we have a lot of flexibility to make this environment look however we want. Some of the examples we'll show you here in this demo are just some ideas to get cultural attractions thinking about how they can start to visualize that entire 360-degree business view. And here you see as many of our customers choose to put their logo on a home page here where this kind of becomes the portal for them to start to explore their business and find out what's happening. And you'll find out here that it's very easy to use. At no point do I even really touch my keyboard. Everything that we're going to do here together is done with the mouse. So it really lends itself to easy access to very deep business analysis by line of business folks and folks with little technical background or perhaps small IT teams where today maybe you struggle a little bit with getting IT to build custom reports and things for you. VenueEdge puts that power in the hands of the non-technical business user for you to be able to see exactly what's happening in your business. So here you'll see that we've navigated over to a sample attendance dashboard where we can start to see some patterns in our attendance. Starting out with, how are we pacing from a membership and season pass perspective to paid admissions, event admissions, etc. In these examples, you're comparing year-over-year information. This is updated for the user every day, so you're always looking at kind of a apples-to-apples comparison on how I'm pacing through today versus through the same day last year. So you always have that accurate comparison. And you'll also notice that anywhere in VenueEdge, you're able to interact with charts and reports and objects that you see in these reports. So here you see, for example, I just drilled into some of our attendance data, and just by clicking on the state of Ohio, it revealed a drill down into the city level. And we can take that all the way down to a zip code view and see where are people coming at month over month, year over year from a zip code and marketing standpoint, so we could justify those marketing spends that we're trying to do with our precision marketing efforts. Here you also see some what I'll call macro views of the business, starting out with a very high level in terms of things like what day of week are people attending on, what time of day, to being able to drill down into these charts and see very granular access to see, for example, what's a particular membership category, how is that, or are people starting to visit on a Tuesday versus a Saturday, for example, in certain membership categories and things like that, are people starting to come later or earlier in the day? This is where you would start to see some of those key trends in your business. Here, if we switch over to some more of our ticketing and revenue-based information, we're actually looking at dollars and cents versus attendance numbers. And just as we drilled through on the previous dashboard, we can do the same thing here with our revenue. So I know this particular customer was very interested in tracking the revenue dollars from Lexington, Kentucky, as there had been a marketing spend into Lexington to try and drive some attendance from Lexington up into Cincinnati. So this became a very easy and popular way for marketing to be able to see in a kind of a real-time fashion, is that spend working? Are we seeing a change in attendance from there? Does that marketing spend make sense for us to continue next year? That sort of thing. Two, over here, starting to see some of our channel revenue. One that we really hold up is in particular high regard is online sales. Customers who are surveyed who buy tickets online tend to report much higher net promoter scores because they can access the park easier, oftentimes a lot faster. And just as important, studies have shown, and our data has shown, that individuals who buy tickets to come through an online channel oftentimes spend as much as 20% or more during their visit as somebody who bought their ticket the day of in a walk-up fashion. So here we start to see the ability to start to monitor and measure that kind of in real time, so you can optimize your website and other marketing efforts to try and drive that channel revenue. Oftentimes, food service and retail reporting sits outside of a cultural attractions kind of reporting culture, if you will. 2/3 or so of cultural attractions outsource their food and retail to another vendor. So for lots of different reasons, and they're doing different systems, it's very hard, if not impossible, for attractions to gain any kind of insight in terms of how are our gift shops, how are our concessions performing, what items are popular, which ones aren't, how are we performing to budget versus prior year. So VenueEdge enables you to start to see this kind of data in near real time, so that rather than just relying upon your commission check from your outsourced vendor to appear in the mailbox next month, here you can really start to be a true partner with them and start to monitor as you go through the month, how are we performing, what's working, what's not working. Down here at the bottom right, for example, this is one of the easiest ways to drive per caps, is by being able to measure key performance indicators down to a granular level. In this example, you're seeing average transaction in retail shops by cashier. By starting to measure this and monitor this, is a very effective way to train staff and to increase per caps. If we jump over here to loyalty, we are big proponents of loyalty programs for two main reasons. One, they enable a cultural attraction to capture name-level data, which can be then exploited for targeted and precision marketing efforts. We'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second. But it also, if properly marketed and constructed, loyalty programs have proven effective at increasing in-park spending by, in some cases, as much as 25% or more. So if an organization, if a cultural attraction has a loyalty program, this would be where we would display some of the KPI information around that program, such as the redemption rate on some of the offers that you're offering through your loyalty program, the spend differential between somebody who's in the program versus somebody who's not, and so on and so forth. Now, something else we realized early on in our quest into this cultural attraction industry is the inability to take certain kinds of data and display it to executives and to managers in a meaningful way. And a great example of that is what you see here. Oftentimes when today a cultural attraction is trying to analyze, say, the performance of a discount or a promotion or something like that, they're oftentimes handed from IT a 30-page Excel spreadsheet with zip codes on it. Well, analyzing that, making any kind of an informed business decision off of a 30-page spreadsheet with zip codes on it really is no way to run a business. It's no way for a marketing person to really make a decision. But if we can take that same kind of data and drop it onto this mapping interface, which we've built into VenueEdge. In this case, it's a customer we have in Seattle that is showing ticket sales year to date by zip code. And you'll see as I hover over the different zip codes, I'm able to see the amount of revenue in this case that's come from each one. But what's particularly interesting is if I pick, say, this zip code here and just click on it with my mouse, I'm not run any kind of a custom code script or anything like that. In about 3 or 4 seconds, I see a report that shows the name, address, email, etc. of everyone who has come from that zip code and what they purchased down to a SKU level. So whether it's a cheeseburger or an item in the gift shop or membership renewal, etc., you see all of that at the click of a mouse right at your fingertips. So as we might guess, getting to this kind of name level data, particularly in such an easy fashion, is truly kind of the holy grail of marketing. There's a range of business strategy that spawns from this. You can identify who visits most often versus least often and start to target those people that are at greatest risk of perhaps not renewing their membership next year, or identifying pockets of people that, maybe only visited once. And if you can identify 50,000 of those people and get just a small percentage of them to visit one more time, you really move the needle in your business. Now here you see the use of some external data. This is something that we find that a lot of organizations forget about or neglect. Sometimes we focus all of our time trying to manage the data in what I say inside of our four walls, and oftentimes don't understand that you can exploit through a business intelligence tool like VenueEdge external data. So we recognized early on, obviously, the weather plays a critical role in what happens at a stadium or a museum or a zoo. So this solution includes a real-time feed to the National Weather Service, where we pull in over 26 different weather parameters such as temperature, rainfall, snowfall, wind speed. And from that, our customers are able to start to become very sophisticated at how they analyze, forecast, and predict their business. So here you see you can start to analyze the difference in visitation habits between members and non-members based on temperature, or the individual sale of an individual product by temperature. In this case, beer. Most cultural attractions, the biggest variable direct expense that they manage is part-time labor. So being able to use this technology to optimize how much part-time labor you have scheduled on Saturday when it's only Thursday is a very effective way to really control and optimize your labor costs. Or taking that a step further, optimizing inventory decisions. If your food service concessionaire or whatever can make highly optimized decisions on product inventory decisions and things like that based on historical trends and revenue and weather. So that's a quick overview of some of the dashboarding capabilities in Cognos. A couple of other things before we jump into kind of the custom reporting tool within VenueEdge that I'll point out is wherever you're ever at in Cognos, you're always just a mouse click away from being able to not only interact with the data, but be able to export it and send it out to other individuals. So here you see that this particular weather report, I'm presented with several different export options. So if I want to send this to my CFO, whether that CFO is licensed or not, I can easily export that here and then email it off to my CFO for her to see that information. So very easy to do. Also interact with the data, change the chart types, resort data that's in a tabular format. So again, just the intuitive nature of getting line of business folks, non-technical folks in direct contact with their business. So I'm going to switch over now to one of the reporting tools in VenueEdge. There are several built into the Cognos Business Intelligence tool. This is called Cognos Workspace Advanced, and what this enables a user to do is to do some ad hoc analysis in what's called a cube. So down the right hand side here you see that we've constructed for this particular customer a revenue cube around some of the dimensionality and measures and things that they want to be able to analyze on kind of an ad hoc basis. And I'll just go through a couple of examples here of some basic reports. What we're hoping that you get from this demo is two things on this part of the demo. One, I want you to see how easy and intuitive it is to create a report from scratch. It's almost all mouse driven, it's very easy. And two, I want you to take note of how fast this is. Anyone listening to this demo who's run a report from their point of sale system or their ERP system can appreciate probably some of the performance that you're about to see. So in this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out very basic, and we're going to run a report for, we'll do 3 years of revenue by day of week. So from my options there on the right, I've selected 2011 through 2003. From over here, you see that I have day of week, so I'm going to insert that into my report. And then for my measures options here, I'm going to select revenue, because that's the type of report that I want to build. So we're going to drill into day of week here. Oh, a little bit of an error. Drill into by day of week. And just that simple, we see that we've got now 3 years worth of data totaling about $22 million worth of revenue that ran in about 1/8 of a second, sliced out by day of week. So very quick, very rapid report like this out of your point of sale system. If you could run it, would have to be run in the overnight hours. It would cripple your transactional system. But let's take that a step further, and we want to maybe create a chart out of this report because we want to see it in a little bit more of a visual sense. So you'll see here within VenueEdge, there's a very robust reporting engine and charting engine built in, where we have a range of different charting options to choose from. I'm going to select a line chart for this particular report. And we'll see here that we've got a decent looking view, but I really don't like the axis that I've got the information charted in, so I'm going to go up here to the swap rows and columns button for a little cleaner look so we can see that more by day of week there in the x-axis. So we'll just click on that, and there we go. In just a few seconds, we've taken $22 million worth of revenue, sliced it out by day of week. We've created a nice looking chart that could easily now be saved and published out to a dashboard for consumption and things like that. So very simple, very easy to do. Let's create one more report here from scratch. Again, the goals here is for you to see how intuitive and easy this is and how fast this is. We'll do one that's a little bit more in depth this time. We're going to look at revenue again. But this year we want to start to, on this report, we want to start to get a little bit of a view on some more marketing type data. So I'm going to insert this, what's called year-to-date grouped time element into my report. And all that really means is the tool's going to pull in year-to-date revenue for this year through today and compared to the same day last year. So you're actually looking at a day-to-day comparison for very accurate analysis. And we've got a basic report built here, but what I'm really interested in is we're going to start out at say, the state level. So you see over here that I've got states that I can pull into my reports. I'm gonna pull that into my report and see what happens here. So there we go. We've got a bunch of new data to look at. The first thing we probably ought to do is I'm going to sort this on current year to date. So I'm going to select that column and sort it. And there we go. Just in just a few seconds, we've got a pretty interesting report where we're now looking at year-over-year revenue by state. And what's interesting is this particular customer is in Seattle. We can drill into the state of Washington, and we'll see that it takes us down to that county level. We'll resort this again. So we're looking at the largest on top. And just that easy, we're able to now look at revenue by county, and we can continue to drill into that all the way down to a zip code view, so that as we go to that marketing meeting, perhaps with our ad agency, where we're trying to decide where to spend those marketing dollars, we can walk into that meeting very informed on where we should be spending that dollars. To take this one step further, though, let me resort this one more time. Let's take this a little bit more granular and say, okay, now we're looking at our revenue year over year by county and by state, but maybe I want to only look at my online sales. Maybe I want to filter out, if you will, my walk-up ticket buyers. I want to see how we're pacing on our online sales. So if I grab my online sales channel and insert it as a filter into the report, you'll see that the data changed. And there's some interesting trends there. We see that our online sales in this particular region that we're looking at is actually down. So we can start to drill into this and analyze this to investigate, why are we seeing this change in online sales for this particular area. So hopefully from there you get a quick overview of VenueEdge, of the dashboarding capabilities in the solution, and again a quick taste of how easy and how quick it is to start to create some of your own analysis on the fly at what we call speed of thought reporting. So for more information about this, or for a more in-depth demo, we'd encourage you to reach out to us and through our website, brightstarpartners.com. or my email address, which is jlucas@brightstarpartners.com. I'd love to talk to you more about this solution and how it might fit for solving some of your reporting and analysis needs, and we hope to hear from you soon.